Garden Report is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report after the Celtics win a classic. This is one we'll definitely remember, especially if the Celtics go on to win a championship. Stealing, potentially game-losing inbounds that would have set the Pacers up for free throws, and a win, stunning win on their own end, 10-point underdogs in a Game 1, 2 days after winning Game 7 at MSG. But Jaylen Brown steals it, hits a three.
Huge
Classic image right there. Siakam in front of him with his hands down, and then Tatum scores his 10 points in overtime. Ton to talk about in this one. We'll continue to talk about it over the coming days here. Josue Pavon, no Dalzell here. But the big question tonight, did this game make you more or less confident in the Celtics winning or taking care of business in this series smoothly?
I think I'm about the same, to be honest with you. Just to start off, going into this, I had the Celtics winning this in 6. And I don't think I want to change my prediction either way, to be honest. But I just think the way this is going to play out, it's going to be a lot tougher. Maybe not a lot tougher, but significantly tougher than maybe I anticipated. I mean, look, for the Indiana Pacers, this is something we talked about before the series started. The second unit, having a chance to duel the Celtics' second unit. And I think they did that in a big way. You could say TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard cancel each other out, but there's still Topham. There's still, weapons off the bench for this Pacers team that I feel like are going to make an impact throughout the series. I can't say the same thing about the Boston Celtics. Sam Hauser, another no-show. Al Horford is doing a lot for the starting five right now, playing close to 40 minutes. And I'm hoping that's not going to be the norm for this entire series, because we know the effects of that. And then you look across the other side of the bench. Do we see a Brissett appearance? Do we see someone like, I know he was unavailable in this game, Xavier Tillman? Maybe. I think it might be around that time to do that if we don't see something significant out of Luke Cornett. Not to say he had an awful game in this matchup, but didn't really make that kind of impact that I thought he would, or at least that we saw in the Cleveland Cavaliers series. I thought that they sort of went at him, especially in the paint, especially Miles Turner, guys who just were waiting for that switch to just take it to him, and they did it with ease.
Certainly plenty of positives here. Forced 21 turnovers, including the big one.
We can start with the negatives first, but yeah, exactly. There's plenty of positives, but yeah.
Win. Because we went that way.
A win, right.
Maybe.
You'll take that, certainly, in a Game 1. And Tatum was great in this one. Obviously, a couple botched possessions down the stretch there in the fourth. But he was excellent. He needed to score 30-plus points in this game, and he did. Most points for a player in overtime, according to Tom Haberstroh, since 2021. So he was certainly excellent there with the and one inside through McConnell, and then the three over two defenders there. So you needed that certainly here too.
Huge show.
But some challenges coming out of this game. The one thing I love, though, is Tatum here talking about how their experience allowed them to believe down 3 in that moment. Here was what he had to say there.
That's a great way. That shit was chaos. That shit was wild. But just stay present, stay in the moment. As long as their time is still on the clock and the game is within reach, we feel like we have a chance. This core group has been in so many big-time games, big-time moments. We've had the lead and lost it and still won, or been down a lot and figured out a way to win. I've had a lot of crazy endings in this building, so in a weird way, we've been there before, and we always believe in a sense.
So, no, are you coming at this one more optimistically, or do you see some issues here that might come back to haunt the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a little bit of both. I'm more optimistic in the sense that we've been talking about wanting to see them get battle tested. This was a battle, and they passed, right? I mean, down by 3 with 10 seconds to go, with the Pacers having the ball. I mean, people were filing out of here. One of you guys got great footage of that scene of fans leaving. Good job, Amit. But I think ultimately, like, it showed this resilience with this group, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both talked about it. But Tatum said, we've been in this situation many times. Yep. But that was a crunch time win. I mean, they had all the odds were against them at that point. And yes, they made a lot of mistakes to get to that point. But still super impressive that they didn't put their head down and say, we lost this one. What a disaster. They, Jaylen Brown, I thought, really willed them for a second chance. And Tatum kind of talked about that post game, but he got that deflection. He hit the 2 free throws with 57 seconds to go, which we know he's been really struggling from the line. So those were pretty big. Gets the deflection to give them a chance. That was an enormous defensive play whenever you can pull that off, and then hits that 3. Like, I think that was a key that kind of gave them life. And I think it was pretty certain that they were going to come out in overtime and win that game. It's pretty hard for Indiana to come out and win after that. So certainly I think it's still a little bit concerning that you're seeing, post-game comments about like we weren't locked in enough, or defensively I think there was things we could have done better, transition defense. Like you'd hope that at this point there wouldn't be that feeling, but outside of that, I think that down the stretch, like I feel better knowing that happened, that they got an easy win, that maybe they're going to come out and sleepwalk in game 2 that we've seen now 2 series in a row.
3 big things. Josue mentioned the bench, certainly in Indiana's favor there. The biggest issue obviously here is that if they just inbound that ball and hit a couple free throws, it's over, and we're talking about a disaster here in game 1. So that's certainly where you start here, is that they were in position to lose this game before a miracle there. But some other stuff too, you got caught up in their pace. Great 12-0 run to start this game, and the Pacers just set a tone for how this game was going to be played for the rest of that half. Celtics slowed it down and went on some runs, forced some droughts in stretches here, but they couldn't string it together consistently. And one big thing we talked about coming into the series, Josue, that really concerns me, and you alluded to it, the Horford thing. They're going at him. And right now the Celtics have the worst pick-and-roll defense, according to Synergy, in the whole NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, no question, but I just feel like the way they executed in those like pivotal stretches where the Indiana Pacers could have grabbed an even larger lead. I think those are the parts where you see Jrue Holiday and the impact he makes. Whether
He was
it's,
outstanding.
Man, those timely defensive stops, whether it's, making the right play on offense in transition. I mean, these guys scoring off of made baskets. I mean, those type of stuff I think we can't look over, because I feel like a lot of the times when we talk about, do the Celtics want to slow things down? Oh, well, then that's when they start playing too much ISO. Well, it's like, they have to find that sweet spot that we know that they're capable of in terms of getting the stops, firing the ball up the floor, getting quick baskets, high percentage opportunities, but then it buckles down. I mean, it comes down to the defense, right? Like that's what triggers those easy shots. And obviously, moving the ball around, finding the open man and all that stuff. I mean, that they do naturally. I just don't think this is that type of series where, they're going to turn into those bad habits where you go, then I go, Tatum and Brown taking turns. I think someone like Jrue changes that and makes sure that they don't continue to do those bad habits consistently. We saw it a little bit in stretches where it seemed like they were falling into the trap that Indiana Pacers do often, but then they got themselves out of it. And I felt like in the second half, down the stretch, it really boiled down to experience. And yeah, game 7 happening 2 days ago doesn't help these guys. I mean, mental fatigue and all that plays a part when you're playing close to 40 minutes. It's the end of the fourth quarter, the pressure's on, you're on the road. You're going to make some mistakes, but the Celtics capitalized on them in a big way. And I think that speaks to their experience. It speaks to guys that have been here before, guys who've moved on past this level and had a humongous part of it, whether it's Jalen, whether it's Tatum, or whether it's Jrue Holiday, the only guy on the Celtics team that has a championship on his finger, championship ring on his finger.
Yeah, great note with him. He had the pass to Jalen too for the game tying 3 there, and it felt like he had all the big passes for the key baskets in this game. Loved how they ran offense through him. Certainly some great sets in this game. Loved the way they forced turnovers, but also some shaky possessions and plenty of lapses defensively lead the Celtics with a ton to fix ahead of Thursday, and we'll have more coverage of that tomorrow at practice. See what the Celtics think after the film. I know Al Horford was all flustered, said he had to go back and watch this game and just get a feel for it. And it was that kind of night, just a crazy game, a classic, one that definitely remember here. And the Celtics have added them up. The Derek White offensive rebound game comes to mind. The Jason Tatum game winner here against Brooklyn in game 1, a very similar kind of scramble sequence. So they've been here. And Miles Turner said after the game, we showed our youth tonight. So we'll see how both teams respond to that. We are brought to you by Prize Picks, Josue, and I hit again.
Yeah, we did.
Smith more, Tatum more, both.
If you guys aren't listening to us, I don't know what you're
We're on a roll. We really are. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. See who we're picking before each game. And if you want to make your own picks, stat projections, baseball, hockey, basketball, and more, all available on our daily fantasy sports partner, Prize Picks. Just use the code CLNS for 100% matching bonus up to $100. Right? And also game time. You could get tickets for tonight, I think for $114 right up until game time.
And if you haven't signed
up, not bad
up
for these finals.
Those $20 can go a long way, for $114 tickets.
This is like the cheapest Eastern Conference Finals prices we've seen in so long.
That's the advantage of Indiana, and it was probably more fun basketball here than we would have saw against New York, as devastated as I was. So go to game time, use our code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And PXG, it's going to be 90 tomorrow, guys. You need those polos, hats, tees. You got to get out on the course. It's time. And they are going to have you looking good out there, feeling good, playing good. That's what PXG does. A lot of different styles. a lot of different great gear for the course. Wear off it, great leisure wear too. It's all very comfortable, flowing. That helps you get into your swing. It all feels good. So go to pxg.com/Garden Report for a discount on your first purchase over there. He's Josue Pavon. She's Noah Dalzell. We'll be at practice tomorrow with some coverage of what the Celtics are saying between games. And then game 2, Thursday, back here again at TD Garden. This has been the Garden Report. Celtics win in overtime. Game 1, 7 wins from a championship here as this East Finals continues.
Josue Pavon here, CLNS Media, and if you made it this far, that means you really like this video. So hit subscribe, make sure you keep our notifications on, damn it, and we got plenty of great content coming your way.